Dan, so here at MMI, we lead with a science-first approach. Can you tell me about any interesting studies you might have had in the vascular space that you'd want to really pinpoint today?
A client came to us a couple of years ago. At the time, they weren't a client. They were having some challenges with their imaging vendor. The vendor was struggling to set up the imaging data in chronological order. The data in question was angiography for a peripheral vascular procedure, and you want to evaluate this data in the procedural steps in which it was acquired. Technical success comes from a deep understanding of the imaging data, making sure you have good image acquisition protocols. The team understands not only the technical evaluation and the parameters of the acquisitions, but the metadata as well, and having operational workflows in place for the evaluation and sort of the flow of imaging data. It's why choosing your core lab and imaging vendors is so important. It's not just about analysis. Reliability and accuracy of data doesn't just happen. It comes from a deep technical understanding of the imaging, of the evaluation of the data, how the software works, and most importantly, having the appropriate operational workflows for accurate, reliable, and consistent data throughout your study.
And so let's circle back. A sponsor came to you with issues with another vendor, and yet MMI is the one that turned it around. Can you explain more?
So our technical team got hold of the data. We looked at the metadata of the imaging. We made sure that nothing got removed during the anonymization of the imaging at the site. And then we worked with it within our own platform to make sure that there weren't any concerns. When we realized there wasn't, we then worked closely with the sponsor and with the other vendor within their own platform, and just really showed and illustrated to the other vendor how the data had been set up and how the software was really importing the imaging. It was a great outcome for the client. The MMI technical team got hold of the imaging data. First thing we did was check the metadata, make sure that no important information was removed during the site's anonymization process. We then imported that imaging into our own software platform as we would any angiographic data for evaluation. Made sure that there were no other image acquisition concerns, no missing images, etc., etc. When we concluded that everything was fine from an acquisition perspective, we then worked closely with the sponsor and the other vendor and actually looked into their own platform to see how the data was being imported. We were then able to then work with the vendor, show them how the software was importing the imaging so that they would then be able to evaluate the angiographic data in chronological order.
So I'm a client looking to start a clinical trial. Where do I start?
At the end of the day, a client, a sponsor that's running a trial, that's running a research study, they're not just looking for data, they're looking for reliable, accurate data. So really at the very beginning, you want to be making sure that you partner with the right team. This is a marathon, it's not a sprint. You want to proactively de-risk situations that could delay submissions, that could cost more money, that could affect your timelines, and really partner with a vendor that understands these initiatives.